So, my name is Flavilla Fongang, and I will be your Action Masterclass instructor today. I'm super excited to do that with you. And today we're going to talk about how to skyrocket your personal brand to, improve your career, to really achieve your career goals or your business goals, which are two things that are very important, whether you are a professional, whether you are an entrepreneur. Your personal brand matters in both instances. So, I'm not trying to sell you anything. I want to say I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm not going to say, hey, you have to sign up to my course at the end. There's no agenda whatsoever. I'm just testing a new product and I'm testing Wistia at the same time. And I'm going to tell you why I've launched the Action Masterclass program. The Action Masterclass program is part of the GTA Black Women in Tech Network. So the GTA Black Women in Tech Network is my non-profit organization, and I wanted to do something as our network is growing across the world, and we have so many amazing experts. Is to do these lunch classes where we can learn so much from each other, and then leave with some actionable steps to really do better to achieve what we want. And obviously, I am the opening and the guinea pig, so I'm opening the show, and hopefully, you will enjoy what I have to share with you. So before I start, I guess I need to tell you something about myself, what I've done so far, so you can understand if I'm credible, if I'm the right person to talk about this. So yeah, so I'm the founder of Three Colors World, a creative branding and marketing agency. People also know me as the founder of GTA Black Women in Tech, which is my non-profit organization. Beyond that, I'm also the voice behind Tech Brand Stock, a podcast which is available on all the major platforms such as HubSpot, such as Spotify, but also Apple Podcast. And I'm also a keynote speaker. So my area of focus is marketing, obviously, but I'm also an inspirational speaker, and obviously talk on technology. And also beyond that, I'm also a BBC brand advisor. I had to write it down because I try to remember everything that I do. BBC brand advisor. We're gonna ask Georgia to mute herself, if you don't mind, for a minute. And also entrepreneur. If you okay, Georgia, just mute yourself, darling. Thank you so much. I'm also an entrepreneur expert at Oxford University. Yes, this girl here and there advertise help MBA students, but also undergraduate students. I'm a board advisor and I've been a judge for a number of awards. In terms of my clients, in terms of who I've worked with brands such as Amazon, Apple, PlayStation, Meta, and I can name, if you think about all the tech brands that you know about, I probably have worked with them. I don't want to sound pretentious, but the reason I'm telling you that is you may think you have to be a huge business to be able to achieve that. And I will tell you it's not the case. So I'm going to show you exactly how I've done it, the methodology I've applied to do this, and obviously ask your questions. I'm reading on the right hand side. The good thing is everything's on my right hand side, and I'm going to tell you exactly how I've done it. Yes? So please feel free to tell me in the comment if so far everything is good. Hey, Hannah. Hannah is here. Welcome, Hannah. And we also have Georgia, who's also joined. So before I start, I need to tell you a bit more of my backstory so you understand that why what is this accent? So I'm French born. I grew up in Paris, not in the pretty part of Paris, Vigato in Paris. And I came to London when I was in 2002. Yeah, in 2002, it's going to be 20 years ago now. And I didn't speak a word of English. But you know what? I'm crazy. I love an adventure. I like to take risk. And I took a lot of risk. I should say that I almost died 5 times. Hopefully, the sixth time I'll still be alive. But yes, so I'm a study freak. Yes, I'm a study freak even to now. So I love learning. So be in economics, be in marketing study, aim international business. I used to work in oil and gas. I used to work in fashion, and now I'm in tech. So as my name defined me, I'm a butterfly. So I evolve, and I'm only looking at my next career evolution. So the reason why I'm telling you that is because you don't have to have it all together to be the top, to be the best in the industry, and to be recognized for what you do. You just have to have dreams. So the first thing I want to ask you to think, and if you can, obviously you can hear me, is to think about dreaming to manifest. What are the dream brands that you want to work with? I think if you don't know who you want to work with, or whatever it is, whatever you are professional, whatever your career, what is a job role that you want to have? What is the position that you want to be? I think it's important to know where you're going. Quite often, people leave it to guess and hope and things will happen. I think it's so important to know. When I was employed, I would say I want to be into that position. So I would have a strategy, a career strategy in terms of how I want to achieve that. And it was very key for me that I couldn't achieve that by myself. So something now as a business owner of multiple businesses, I need to know who I want to work with so I can, behind those brands, identify who I want to work with. I think the biggest issue people make when you think about brands or clients that they want to get, they think about the brands, they don't think about the individuals behind those brands. So when you think about individuals, I know we're talking about business, but when you think about the brands that you want to work with, who are the brands? Who are the people behind those brands that you want to work with? What are the position titles? So as an agency, we want to work with CMO, with CEO. As a nonprofit, we want to work with people in talent acquisition, in DNI, because they understand what we offer, they see value in what we are offering. Are you saying, do you have your dream list? Do you have the companies? And do you know who are the people behind those companies who are interested in working with you? And same thing within the business. If you want to progress within a career, even your career, who is this person who can help you get there? Either sponsorship or mentorship. I think it's so important. And beyond that, I think it's important that if you know me, if you follow me on social media or on LinkedIn, you will see that I'm personal, but not too personal. So, for example, what I share on LinkedIn is very different from what I share on social on Instagram. Probably a bit too personal on Instagram, but I am on LinkedIn. Really recognize your space and recognize what are the shared common values that you have with the individuals that you potentially can work with. So, what do they believe in? What are they strong on? And I don't know if it's the correct way of saying it, but what are the common values that you can align yourself with? I think it's so important because if you will become too bland and too boring, then you lose the sense of, are you the type of person I want to do business with? At the end of the day, remember, as an individual or as a business, people expect you to care about societal issues, whatever it is relevant to your industry. And if you can emphasize this as well in your journey, in your point of view, then the power is here. All right. So I wanted to set the tone before, set the foundation before we actually start about talking about strategy in terms of how you can get there. So this strategy I've been applying for years. Now it's much easier for me to get either press coverage whatsoever. We don't have a PR agency we don't work with any PR agency, but when it comes to securing either newspaper coverage or whatsoever, it happens naturally. But remember, it's not going to happen overnight. This is not a quick fix situation. I'm giving you the foundation because when you have it, it becomes second nature and you do it naturally. All right. So the strategy that I apply this. It's the same strategy I apply for my clients, and it's called the beyond marketing, the beyond approach. It doesn't have to say marketing, but the beyond approach, and it's based on four key behavior. Yeah, four key behavior. So I want you to write it down because it's so important. So I'm going to talk about four key behavior. The first one is uniqueness. The second one is consistency. The third one is reliability, if I say that correctly, and connection. Yes. So we're going to talk about, I'm repeating again. First one, uniqueness. Second one is consistency. Third one is reliability. And the fourth one is connection. So I'm going to talk about how to do it, but I'm also going to share with you some of the tools because I think at the end of the day, you need to know how to use the right tools to get you there. Whatever it is, Wistia, give me a hand there. Whatever it is, another tool, use the right tool to get you there. So when you think about uniqueness, what is really uniqueness? Uniqueness and what does it enable? Uniqueness enable likability, but at the same time, innovation. So, okay, what does she really mean? Does it mean I want to ask you actually in the audience? Do I make sense so far? Please write in the comments if I'm going so far. It's still interesting. You still with me? Write down in the comment if you're still with me. And I'm going to tell you something. You don't need to be the best at what you do to be able to build your personal brand. Yes, we got some. Georgia is there. Yes, we got some great insights. Yes, thank you, Georgia. So yes, so You don't need to be the best at what you do. And I think sometimes people have this frustration that I have to be the best in my space to start building my personal brand. This is such a mistake. This is such a mistake. Start now, and you keep growing your brand as you move along. So first thing I want you to recognize when you think about uniqueness, you really think about what are the people in your space with the same job description as you. Yes. Remember, when it comes to personal brand, there's no space for envy or jealousy. When I started my journey as a brand strategist, I started to connect with everybody who was in that space who was doing the same thing as me. I wanted to know how they got there. How did you get to work with so and so forth? Really, and some of them never replied, and that's fine. Some people will ghost you and not care about what you can teach them or what they can teach you because they're just too busy or they have no time, which makes me laugh now because some of them come back to me. But again, it's another story. I'm not going to be petty. But yes, so really think in terms of who are people in this space that you can connect with who do exactly what you do, who are all in the spotlight. I think it's so powerful to do that and also follow what they do. So follow, connect, whatever you can with these people. and then it will inspire you. So really don't let jealousy or envy, consume you. Do the opposite. And that's what I've done for my career. I will always connect. I don't see competition. I think I'm unique and we are all unique, but I think we can all learn from one another. And I remember one thing that my mom always told me: if you don't ask, you won't get. So I will always be a very cheeky person and ask. So really cultivate that curious mind to be able to get what you want. And when it comes to what you do, this is another question that's so important. Like when it comes to what you do or the job that you have, and or the job that you want to, the job that you have right now, and the job that you want to have, or the clients that you want to work with, what do they expect from you? What are the things that you have to demonstrate or showcase that you are capable of? So this is so important because if you don't know what makes you good at what you do, or if you don't know what your clients expect from you, you can't go beyond. So I'll give you an example. As an agency, people know that we're really good at creating brand and so much more. But what we do beyond is really helping connecting CEOs and CMOs in the tech space, but also educating, how can they learn from one another? When you create a community about what you do is powerful. Same thing, if you want to be head of a department, connect with people in that space, and then figure out what are the skills that they have in common. And then on top of that, add something else that will make you different. What's very interesting about understanding your space and what you operate in, it gives you as well room for innovation. And I think one thing that we always have in the agencies that we are always innovating. People say, "What are you doing right now?" And the same rule applies the way we run a non-profit organization. So always innovating, always creating something that is different. Again, you don't have to be an innovator. You probably have innovation within what you do. You haven't yet figured out what makes you different, which is so important. And so one other thing that's super important is this is probably one point for more for the business owners. So always understand where you sit in the chain of your market. So I'm going to explain it. So who are the people that comes before me for the success of a tech brand, and who are the people that comes after me? So when somebody want to create a great tech brand, yes, they need a business coach, they need a lawyer, but they also need a web developer, they need a social media company, they need SEO. So I need to figure out who are the people that comes before me and who are more likely to recommend me. So when you think about building a personal brand, it's not only a relationship with people who are your prospect, but also who are the potential individuals or companies that can recommend you. Same thing for if you're in a career, who are people within the space that can tell your name in a meeting? So it can be another director, can be and someone from another business. So really, really important. Hello, Karimi. So yes, it's really important to understand where do you sit in that chain of success, and how can you really get people to talk about you when you're not in a room. A number of times, again, sharing my own personal journey, a number of times I find myself getting a job and I didn't have to pitch for it just because someone recommended me so strongly that when they got to meet us, they said, well, I definitely have to work with you because you guys know what to do and you seem to be great. And it comes with very strong recommendation. So really think in terms of who are people in power, just think about, in the same space as you, but people who are in power, their voice and their opinion about you can be so powerful that people will choose to work with you without closing my. Remember that we don't make any rational decision. So if you can find and identify these people, again, I'm going to talk about connection and build a connection in a minute, which is also another element of that strategy. Does it make sense so far? I know, Karim, you just arrived, you just missed the first part of the session. Tell me if what I'm saying makes sense so far, and I will carry on with this. All right. And then, so I think what's important about this is like stay human, never stop. You can be personal about what you do in terms of what you want to build, but stay human. I think beyond, when you think about business, when you think about career, people want to do business with that they like. How can you showcase your likability with your character and what you believe? Remember, we talked about values before, which is so, so important. Okay. Okay, point number two I want to talk about, which is reliability. What does reliability allows? It allows you to build trust, but also validate authority. And if you're starting a new business or if you're new in your career, you probably think, how can I validate my authority? I'm new into this space. But if you are, whether you are into a career you just started, just think in terms of the reason why they hired you. You obviously had the right skills to start. You need to think in terms of how can I really showcase that to that space. And if you're a business, I think that's a question people always ask me. I don't have big clients on my portfolio. How do I start getting another big client? What's interesting about this is that when you get your first big client, it becomes easy to get another one. So you need to think again. Remember, who are the individuals on your dream list? If you get one of them, then it validates everybody else. So the first time when we got Apple, it made it so easy to get PlayStation. It made it so easy to get then Google, to get Amazon, and so much more. So who are the people that you can get in your industry or as customers or advocate of your business that will bring so much validity from what you are? And you think when I used to work in the fashion industry, certain brands would choose to work with me and some certain would not. For example, I remember El Cabinet was very picky because I wasn't certain type of fashion stylist, and they said, well, we don't fit into our brand image. But then other brands such as Joseph, who is still around, chose to work with me. Then then when I had Joseph, it was easy to approach another luxury brands in the same space. So really lose that leverage of that relation that you have built to get more and more clients. It's so powerful. Honestly, it's like when the machine, just by getting that first client, that first relationship whatsoever, then it's easy. So you see, when people get a job at Google, then it's easy to get at Facebook, then it's easy to get at Amazon, and so much more. So you probably think, okay, that's brilliant ideas, but at the moment I actually don't know how to get started. So one thing that you know about you probably seen from me is that I'm always spending a lot of time sharing content, but I'm educating. So the best way to validate, to demonstrate your skills and knowledge is to educate. So when was the last time you put a piece of content to validate your knowledge in that space? When's the last time you did that? So you see, you can find content about me on YouTube. Even if we don't have any views, it doesn't matter. And again, remember, don't let yourself intimidated by the vanity metrics, the likes, the follows, and whatsoever. It doesn't matter whatsoever. Even if you have two likes, if you have two likes from one is from Oprah and one is from Obama, trust me, that's more powerful than having 10 million likes from people who never buy your business. So really do not focus so much on the vanity metrics that will scare you and stop you from being what you are good at. So really focus on educating. How can you carry on demonstrating that you are great at what you do by sharing valuable content that your audience will like and also speak to your audience? Remember, from the start, you've built your dream list. You know who is within your dream list, who are the people and position titles that you want to work with. You connected with them as well there. You connected with your partners, people that potentially recommend you, and then you have now and start building advocacy by sharing more and more relevant content for what you do. It's super powerful. So the rule is very simple. You probably say, okay, I like what you're saying, but I don't have time. And that's fine. Don't worry. I'm going to show you how you can do it using technology to make your life easier. Yes. So please make sure you take some notes. Super important. So the rule is very simple, and if you apply it against something, you can automate. Yeah, automate. Yes, you can automate your content without having to think about it. So the best way to do is to, if you have a blog or if you have a website, if your business, must have a website or you have social pages, write an article. So you write an article and you say, Fabiola, I'm not a writer, so don't worry, I'm coming to that. Write an article, then you convert it into blog post, into social post. So you have one article, then you can convert it into 4 or 5 social posts. So it means that you have 2 pieces of content that's going out every week. When you have done your social post, then you can either convert it into an audio version, so you can read your content if you want to, or just do a video recording of your content of what you have written in your article post, and you multiply your reach. Super powerful. So the tools that are really good, and again, coming back to tech tools, Copy AI. If you never heard of Copy AI and you say, I don't like to write Flavilla, use Copy AI will save your life. Copy AI is the best AI tool right now for anybody who hates writing content. Literally, you can put how to recipe for chocolate cake, it will give you a recipe. I don't know how we do it. I'm kind of witching, I don't know what it is, but it works really, really well. Another thing that I want to say that if you have never heard of Canva, where have you been on this earth? Use Canva as well. Like if you don't have a designer, like we have designers in our team, make sure that you use Canva again to make sure that your content look nice, professional, and also consistent. Again, 2 tools that are very powerful, and I'm going to talk about how you can also automate your content. So really figure out in terms of how you can use tools such as Copy AI to write content and then visually present your brand really beautiful. Honestly, these 2 tools will save you so much time. When you have done your content for a month, prepare your content for a month in a day, and then let it run. So you see, when you see me as a favor, you're always online. It's like, well, okay, good. But most of the content is already pre-prepared a long time ago. Some of them is based on if I'm attending an event, but most of the time the content is already there. So super important. So make sure that you use it if you're not a writer. Canva will save your life. All right, let's talk about. So far we talked about uniqueness, we talked about reliability, and the third one I want to talk about is consistency. I think it's probably the thing where most people actually fail. They're not consistent with their brand image broadcasting. They start a little bit, they get tired, they get distracted, and then they forget. Yes. Have you ever seen me a single week where I don't post on LinkedIn? No, I'm always posting on LinkedIn. You can even see in my feed history, I'm always posting at least once on LinkedIn because I'm a seeder. What does it mean? I'm always trying, even if people are not ready to buy for me, I want to be top of mind. Yes, super powerful. Always think that, when you think about your client or, who you want to work with, you have to be a relationship. So you can't expect someone to say, hey, how many of you have received an email or a message on LinkedIn? You just accept the connection and you get this long message. Tell me about your challenges. Tell me about this. I'm like, I've just met you. You expect me to tell you a life story? I've never even given me time to breathe. And it's so bad. People don't know how to use the platform very, very well. So I would say make sure that you're continuously connecting those people, but at the same time sharing content. So even if they're not engaging with you, trust me, they're seeing. Again, if you focus only on the vanity metrics, which is like the likes or whatever it is, you're missing out the point. If you see, for example, if I even get 20 likes, what I'm more interested in is the number of views. I might get 20 likes, but I have about 3,000 views on my page, and that's all I need to know. Yes? How much is your engagement? How much is your presence? Very, very important. So, coming back to reality education, I'm going to talk about consistency. Yes, prepare your monthly content. You have that, and I'm going to share with you some tools that can help you schedule your content, which is so powerful. If you can prepare your content on a monthly basis, convert it into 4 or 8 social posts, then you can convert it to video content because people want to see you. Yes, don't hide behind your articles. People want to see who you are behind the person. That's how they can like you. Then after that, you can schedule it at we use, for example, we use Zoho. We used to also use in the past Hootsuite, which are great tools. If your audience is on Facebook, Facebook have tools setting that allows you to schedule your content, and I think also allows you to post on Instagram at the same time. And these tools have Zoho is not free, but I know that Facebook tool is free. So really remember that be present. I think it's super important. Be present where your audience is. I am present on all the social media platforms, but I know the one that for convert me clients is LinkedIn. That's where I spend most of the relevant content adapted for my audience. Yes. So yes. So we're on number 3. How's it so far? Have you learned good things? Please write in a comment. Tell me if it was good learnings. Rebecca said it's amazing. Thank you so much, Elisa. Yeah, this is great. Some great insight. Thank you so much. I'm glad that you're loving it. Anybody has any questions so far? Please do tell me because after that, I live finish at 1 o'clock on 2 o'clock on the dot. After that is finished. Yes, Canva, copy and AR, live service. Yes, thank you. Georgia, you can also do is share some links so people can have those, so we can give them that. Makes it very handy as well. So Georgia's going to share some links so we can learn about copy. So you can have those tools. Really check them out. You can test them for free, which is very good. And then get started. All right. So the last thing I want to talk about, which is probably the part as well people forget. So Elise hadn't heard of Copia before. Fantastic. Why is it going to change your life forever? Karima said, great. This is good. Thank you so much. So I'm going to carry on. Yes, thank you, Georgia, for sharing some of the links. All right. So the last part I want to talk about, which is connection. This is where most people get lost. Connection. When is the last time you connected with somebody that you met at an event or somebody that you met online? Yes. How many people have you connected with on LinkedIn lately? I say LinkedIn because it's my platform, whatever it is, Instagram. And people forget that, the more you grow your network, the more you expand your chances of building your brand. Yes. I didn't get to 20,000 connections on LinkedIn overnight. Let's be honest. Yes. It's work and work and work. So I'm going to show you tips in terms of how you can do that. Remember at the beginning, I say connect with your prospect, connect with your network, your ecosystem. Who are people in the chain that can be part of recommending you in the room when you're not there? It can be your boss, like if you are in a position, if you are in a career role right now, who are people within the business? I'm so surprised how many times I have to introduce people from the same business. I know sometimes the brands are so big. I have to introduce people internally, which always makes me laugh. Really think about connecting as well within the business that you are in is so powerful. Again, the bigger your business, the more chance you are of being discovered. And if you sit at your desk, like I used to do back in the days, you're probably missing out on some of the biggest opportunities. So really think in terms of how can you grow your network within the business that you are in, or and externally if you are also running, how you can grow your career within the business that you are in, and how can you grow your business with a network within your space. So I'll tell you what I do, what I used to do. No, I don't do it as much because yeah, I'm not so much new when it comes to LinkedIn. I used to always connect with five connection a day. So who are people in the space? You know, you can do research on LinkedIn. I'm going to search for, let's say, for example, business coach in London, da, da, da. And I will look at his profile and say, send him a very personalized message. Say, hey, John, I love what you're doing in this space. Hello, I know that you've been here for 5 years. It would be great to connect with you to make sure I stay in touch with your activities. You know, always personalize your approach. And sometimes people say, oh, actually, good timing. I need someone like you. And when the person responds, and you can see there's a bit of, a bit of interaction, say, hey, how about we meet for virtual coffee, half an hour? What do you say? So don't be afraid to think in terms of who are people that can recommend you, yes, vice versa, and also who are potential clients that may want to work with you. And again, in your business, hey, Sam, we've been in the same company. I just realized we're not connected. Should we connect? Fantastic, yeah. So use that space. Really think about that. If you do that 5 connections per day over every month from Monday to Friday, you will grow your network like crazy. And after a point, you don't need to do people just come to you. Yes. So just 5 connections. Send 5 personalized connection requests per day on LinkedIn. If you're using LinkedIn, I'm presuming everybody who is using LinkedIn. And then after that, again, I will share with you a technique that works really well, flattery. Yes, if you use flattery and doing your connection request, it works really, really well. So yes, to do 5 connections per day, every day, Monday to Friday, you will grow your network like crazy. And out of those 25 connections, one person will say, let's have coffee, let's have Zoom, whatsoever. Some will never respond, and that's fine. You're not meant to be liked by everybody. Again, when you've done those connections, again, another tool that I recommend using, HubSpot. Yes, HubSpot is free to use again. HubSpot saved my life because I'm probably talking to an average of 300 people throughout, a year. How can I remember 300 people? It's impossible. Yes. So I use HubSpot to remind you, hey, to connect with Samantha, 3 months. She needed to follow up in 3 months on the second quarter of the year. So I have this tool to remind me to follow up, say, hey, follow up. And sometimes I look and I'm like, who is this person I'm supposed to? Say, yes. It's impossible to have a memory of an elephant, but use HubSpot to help you that. Sometimes what I do, I like to prepare my emails, and when I schedule this when I want them to be sent using HubSpot. So I can write them at, let's say, at 9 o'clock in the evening, and then I want to be them to be delivered at 8 o'clock, and I get sent, so I don't have to think about it. So again, HubSpot is a great tool to do that. But remember, so I talked about connections online, so on LinkedIn, on channels. But the second thing you want to do, network in person. Yes, obviously we're out of COVID. We can meet people nowadays. So go out once a week in your industry sector, make some new connections. Look over people that you can meet once a week if you can. But I say really, once a week is really ideal. And if you can't do that, do once a month, whatever it is, industry events, whatever it is, events where your clients are likely to be. And again, the more you follow people, you will see that your feed will start looking different. You can see what people are happening. You can see what events are relevant in your space. And then boom, 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 boom. You meet someone at an event. Don't just leave it as a LinkedIn connection. Follow up. Hey, it was so nice to meet you at blah, blah, blah event yesterday. Should we have a virtual coffee? No, no, no. If you're in London, say meet in person. You might not want to do every things in person straight away. I always recommend the virtual event first. And again, another tool that I love to use is called Once Hub, which allows you to just send the link, so you don't have to think about what dates, back and forth emails. Just use my link, choose a time that works for you. Yeah, just make your life easier for everybody. So again, love tools that are there to help you build that. So really don't stop at, yes, I made a great connections, nothing happens, they're gonna still see me in their feed. No, that's gonna happen. Make sure that you follow up with connections to meet up for 30 minutes. And I think what's important, I see quite often happen, is that when people meet, they don't necessarily know how to carry out the conversation. They go from a place of, you need to help me, instead of, if you go from a place, I want to help you and I want to listen to what you are offering, trust me, this person want to help you back. So think in terms of how you carry that conversation. If I meet the CEO of Nike, for example, I'm not going to start pitching with him on the first conversation. I want to understand what is his challenge and what's he excited about, what's his vision, and then let him do the talking. And then naturally, he will want to ask me what is interesting about my job and whatsoever. And naturally, we'll find a connection. And I think it's so important to know how to carry conversations. But if you sound sales and you're trying to sell, you're not interested in the person, that's never going to work. So I would say to you, like, really always think about business as a love relationship. You wouldn't marry someone that you just met. So don't expect something to happen in business. Step by step, first date, let's get to know each other. Let's see if there's any opportunity. And I know, for example, when you know your cycle of conversion, then you don't rush things. And I think it's good to think in terms of the client that you've worked with, or the career, your career evolution. How long did it take you to get to point A to B? Can you go faster? Can you go slower? But when you measure that and you know how many interactions you need to get before you get to success, then it's just a numbers game. Yes, it's just a numbers game, and you can play with it as much as you want. Yeah. So I want to conclude because it's almost the end of I've been talking for so long. I want to conclude this 30 minutes, as I say, with one. I don't have an image. I'm not showing my screen, but I wanted to I don't know if you've seen it. Check it out. It's the story of the wife, the husband, and the donkey. On the first image, you see the man walking with his wife next to the donkey, and you see someone criticizing. Is like, "Ugh, why are they not making use of a donkey? It's so stupid. One of them can be sitting on this." On the second image, he's sitting on the donkey, and his wife is walking next to him. It's like, look at this man. He doesn't even care about his wife, and he's on the donkey and she's walking. On the third image, the wife is on the donkey, and now the two critics are saying, "Oh, look at him. She's the one who's handling. She's the one who's wearing the trousers. He doesn't even know how to control his wife. He's staying on the side." And on this last image, they both sitting on a donkey, and people say, "Oh, look at them. They maltreating the donkey. They don't care about him." The reason why I share that story is because no matter what you do, people will judge you. So at the end of the day, just be you. So if you wait for people to not be criticized anything about Elon Musk or whatever it is, people will criticize you. I mean, some people have real character, but that's who they are. So if you wait for you to be perfect, if you worry about people judging you, then you're gonna be waiting for a long time. So start now. I think have fun with it. If you follow this, there's no way you're not gonna skyrocket your brand, skyrocket your personal brand. So I hope that you enjoy my masterclass. And we have a couple of minutes together. Yes, my pleasure, Janine. Yes, always do what you got to do. People will judge you. You can't be for everybody. I think it's important that, when you realize that you can't be from anybody, that you don't take things personally. I start taking people ghost me, and sometimes I ghost people as well. And that happens, and that I never take it personally. I just move on to the next thing, because when you know your strength and when you know your value, nothing really upsets you anymore. You just realize, "Yeah, it's just business." Or maybe I took someone at the wrong time and were busy, or something happened in life. So there's no point for me to take it personally. All right. So this is the end of my action masterclass. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to spend the rest of the 23 minutes that we have left together for any questions. If you don't have any questions, I'm just going to disappear. But if you have any questions, please do ask me now. And please do tell everybody how much did you enjoy the session. And I'm so glad that I was testing Wistia for the first time, and it didn't fail. So Wistia is a good tool. I didn't know about Wistia, but I liked it. Anybody has any questions, please do ask. I'm here for you. Any question? Janine, I know judges for my girl, Karimi, Elise. Do you have any question? Rebecca, anybody still there? Have any questions? If you don't have any questions, I'm going to leave 2 more minutes. And if you don't have any questions, and then please do tell me. I think what I'm very interested about is really telling me how it goes, telling me how this strategy works. So remember, manifest. So dream to manifest. Choose who do you want, what career you want to go, and how you're going to get there. What other people are holding this space, and you can really talk to and learn about their strategies. What other people who can help you get there, can be your advocates, can talk about your brand. Then after that, find your uniqueness and develop your brand. My pleasure, Janine. I'm so glad that you enjoyed it. No question, good shot and inspiration. Fantastic. That's the point of this action masterclass. The point is that you actually should be able to apply everything that you've learned. So yes, so uniqueness, again, something, reliability, showcase that you're the best person in this space to do that. So keep sharing and educating your audience while demonstrating your expertise. And then that consistency, user tools to help you, and connection, which is so important. So if you apply those four, you're good. You're going to be a rock star, and I can't wait to see you on the cover of Vogue magazine or the next Forbes magazine and so much more. So, yeah. So, this is the end of my masterclass. I can see that obviously I delivered very well. So, there's no question to ask. I bet you enjoy it. I'm going to go offline and I will see you very soon. This masterclass is going to be on the GTA Black Women in Tech website. This is not a product of Free Colors Work, it's a product of GTA Black Women in Tech, and you can just sign up, create your free members account to access to all the masterclasses. We have some fantastic masterclasses coming up, going from learning about creating your meta wallet to vision board to so many things, to improving your CV, CV surgery, and so much more. And obviously, based on what people want to hear, we're going to do so much more. So thank you so much for joining me for this amazing first class, and thank you, Janine, for being a good sport. I like that people are so involved into it, and I will see you very soon. Bye, everybody.